Hello, everyone. Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. I'm Rae Stonehouse, and I'm going to be the facilitator for this session. Our topic for discussion for this evening is video marketing, the wave of the future for promoting Toastmasters clubs. And this is hosted by District 21 Toastmasters, part of our, as I said, Webinar Wednesday. The idea behind what we're doing is that just have the opening comments here. Then we're going to move into a pre-recorded video that I have created, and the chat lines will be open throughout that. We'll see if anybody logs in, and they'll participate as well. So they participate through the chat line, and then once the video is over, we'll have question and answer after that. So if you have any questions, just put them in the chat, and I'll open up the, sorry, that's not it there at all. Open up the video. Hello everyone, I'm Rae Stonehouse, and welcome to the pre-recorded portion of Video Marketing, the wave of the future for promoting Toastmasters clubs. With today's technology, the possibilities on personal computers and mobile devices seems to be endless, allowing us to create videos that grab the attention of the audience within seconds. Videos today are not just something that we watch, they are something that we engage in and something we become a part of. Before we get into the how to do it, we should probably look at the why and the should we do it at all. It has been said that the best way to get a guest out to your club meeting is to ask them. The personal touch is best. People are more likely to check out your club and visit if they know somebody there or they've heard good things about your club. Closely following the personal touch, and in some ways it might be the exact opposite, is having your club show up in the online search engines. For instance, someone Googles Toastmasters or leadership and training in your community looking for information or contact links. This is becoming exceedingly difficult as organic searches are being phased out by the search engines. Organic searches are where somebody would put in a search term. Let's say Kelowna Flying Solo Toastmasters. It's my club, so I can promote it. So they put in the exact term, that is Kelowna Flying Solo Toastmasters, assuming that there is a website. Odds are that it'll show up in the search engine results. There is a website, and it does show up. But what about the 100 or so pages of content posted on that site? When it comes to promoting your website, the saying up until recently has been that content is king. Your website content used to show up in the search engine results. Not anymore, though. The search engines, they want you to pay for your listing to come up now. Our challenge as marketers is to create content that people will want to see and share. As Toastmasters charged with the task of developing public relations initiatives to market our clubs to the world, or at least our neighborhood community, we need to be aware of emerging technologies that we can use. I've read that by the year 2020, some 80% of the content on the internet will be video. Another fact is that YouTube is currently the third largest search engine. My experience is that if you create video using popular tags, you're more likely to come up in the search engine results than you would if you didn't use video. Let's try that Google search again for Kelowna Flying Solo Toastmasters, but this time we'll click on videos instead. Now look what's happening here. It looks like every video that I post to our club YouTube channel is getting indexed by Google. If a person sees results about your club in the search engine, they're more likely to research your club even more, perhaps contacting you. Now, as for answering the question of should you do it, the answer depends on how much work you want to do and your skill and experience level. To break this topic down into manageable portions, I've divided the presentation into beginners, intermediate, and advanced, but not necessarily expert. Shooting a video at a club meeting or Toastmasters event with your smartphone or a digital video camera and posting it to Facebook and YouTube is well within the skill set of almost everyone. You just aim, record, and upload to your club Facebook page and share it from there. So what can you shoot a video of? The short version is happy, smiling Toastmasters. You want to depict your fellow Toastmasters participating in activities that look like they're having fun. Hopefully enough to entice the viewer of the online video to come out and check out your club. Here's a quick example of a video of the start of a club meeting. Michelle isn't really smiling all that much. All she knew was that I wanted to grab a video of her for this presentation.
I just would like to go over the agenda for a few minutes, but before I do, a reminder to put your phones on mute or vibrate or off. And on our agenda, we have a few openings. Eye contact. Would anybody like to do eye contact? I can. Okay, Krista. And the forms are right here.
I'll be right there. I'll be right there.
Okay.
You can shoot videos of members giving speeches, answering table topics questions, providing a Toastimonial. If the term Toastimonial is new to you, it just means that someone is sharing the benefits that they personally have gained from their Toastmasters membership. Testimonials have proven over the years to be one of the most effective means of marketing a product or service. The same principle applies to a video Toastimonial. Here's a short clip from a promotional video that the Penticton Toastmasters recently produced.
Whether it was to mayor and council or to the public or to my peers, fellow members, there are times when I was addressing hundreds of people. And I always felt really that I was uncomfortable, and I was never satisfied with the job I was doing. I knew I had to hone my skills. So I looked around, and ultimately it was the HR department at the city of Penticton that referred me to Toastmasters. And I went, hey, there's the ticket. That's just what I need. And I came to Toastmasters, and since that time, I have improved immensely when it comes to public speaking. And I continue to do public speaking, even though I'm no longer at the city, because it's just a lot of fun. Where else can you capture the attention of a whole big group of people and own it for as long as you're speaking?
As a beginner, the idea is that you're recording a simple shot and without any editing, uploading it to social media or your club's website. Your video shoot should be limited to one topic. Let's look at uses for your video. We've already mentioned uploading your video to Facebook and or other social media. The particular social media that you post to is determined by the demographics of the audience you're trying to target. Younger people have moved away from Facebook. I just read a statistic today saying that 90% of Instagram users are younger than 35. That would seem to say that if that's the age you're targeting for your club, you need to be posting your videos on Instagram. I haven't used Instagram enough to comment on it though. LinkedIn has started allowing video uploads. If you're targeting to a business professional market, it might work to post your business related video to LinkedIn. Here's a quick video clip that I grabbed from LinkedIn. It has nothing to do with Toastmasters, more to do with local politics. However, it does illustrate how they use video to share a message. I didn't record the sound, so don't worry that something's wrong with your system or that you're losing your hearing. I haven't seen anyone doing this type of video for Toastmasters yet, so maybe something to consider. I think you get the idea, so I'm just going to hit stop there. There's also your club webpage and your free Toast host site if you're using one. In this slide, I'm showing my club's free Toast host site. I've highlighted the top spot in yellow. It's not actually highlighted on the live site, but I wanted to show you that this can be a good place to feature your club promo video. I have seen it in some clubs before. Speaking of club promo videos, we do have one for our club, but it's posted a little bit down the page and it's somewhat outdated. This video was created by a high school daughter of one of our former members. I'll give you a quick show at it.
I'd recommend Toastmasters for anyone looking to improve their communication skills. That's not just public speaking. It's also about becoming an effective listener, about improving your ability to think, about being more in the moment.
How would you like to be able to acquire a skill, to be able to speak in front of public, to deliver your presentation so confident?
And there's also your personal or your club YouTube channel. I talked about creating and using a YouTube channel a little earlier. This isn't meant to be an exhaustive list of where you can post your video. Trends are regularly changing. What works today might not work in a few months. As marketers, we need to be aware of the trends and try to keep up to them, or at least one step behind. Let's look at the logistics of a simple shoot, or how to actually do it. As most smartphones don't have an adjustable telephoto lens, you need to ensure that your camera or smartphone is close enough to record the area that you want to record. You also need to position the camera so that you frame the picture so that you are grabbing the scene or perspective that you want. If you're using a smartphone, you'd be well advised to get a portable tabletop tripod stand so you can stabilize your device. While your video viewer will tolerate a little bit of jiggling or movement, you don't want them to quit watching it due to being annoyed. You want to make your video easy to watch. If you're using a camcorder or a digital camera with video recording capability, by using a regular size photography tripod, you have a little more flexibility in taking your shot, and then you can move around a little more without having to rely on a tabletop. You're also able to adjust the height of the camera from the floor and move the camera up and down from side to side if you need to stay focused on the shot. A camcorder or digital camera also has the ability to zoom in and out, which gives you more flexibility. If your camcorder requires electrical power to run, you'd be well advised to bring an extension power cord and locate the electrical outlets in your meeting room. Let's talk about audio recording for a moment. Test your sound recording by taking a practice shot to see if you need to move closer to your subject. Is there any background noise that might affect your video? Some meeting rooms have air conditioning and heating systems that you may not even be aware of until you record in those rooms. Some rooms may have come across as sounding hollow, so your sound quality may be affected. With this beginner's level of video recording, you're likely relying on the built-in mic in your recording device. Resist the urge to talk or comment on what you're recording, as they will become part of your video. You could easily get caught with your commentary being recorded that might have best not been said. I know that from personal experience. Years ago, I had the opportunity to provide the color commentary for the Santa Claus Parade in Kelowna. The plan was that the two of us were going to sit on the roof of the Shaw Cable studio van and comment on the parade as it went by. The problem was that it snowed close to a foot in the 2 hours allotted for the parade. My partner and I weren't able to sit on the roof due to the snow, so we had to sit in the back of the van. The monitors for what the camera was shooting were too small, so we had to comment on what we saw in front of our open door as the parade went by. Unfortunately, the camera was aimed up the street, so our video and commentary were completely out of sync for the whole parade. It was a rather embarrassing situation, to say the least. Let's look at lighting for a moment. Don't assume that your meeting room will provide enough light to highlight your subject. If you don't have access to additional light sources, you may need to reposition the speaker to take advantage of existing light. If you as an audience member find the lighting in the subject, let's say a speaker, makes the speaker hard to see, odds are that it'll come out even darker in your final video. In this video clip, I recorded it at our regular meeting room. We thought that there'd be enough light for the recording, but as you see, there wasn't. If you listen closely, you can also hear the heating system sound in the background of the video.
Henry Ford. Mr. Ford is often quoted as saying, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't. You're right. That's the law of attraction. And probably the phrase that resonates with me personally the most is that you create your own reality. There's different ways of looking at the law of attraction.
Don't record a scene either that has a window with daylight coming in from behind it. You're likely to have an overexposed shot. Raising the bar a little, but still within the reach of a beginner, is that of taking a Facebook Live video. All of the logistics mentioned so far come into play, with a few extra. Since it is live, that is, streaming video, a connection to Wi-Fi is required. Your meeting room may or may not have Wi-Fi access. You could use your own personal digital plan on your phone, but that could easily get pricey. If you're using Facebook Live, you would likely need a camera device operator, as well as someone to comment and participate in the live news feed. They would have to be logged in and participating either as an audience member or an administrator of the Facebook page. The purpose of streaming live is to create some interaction with your audience. Here's a quick video clip that I found on the internet. The URL for the complete video is listed in the show notes. Bit of a note though, the volume for this video clip is a little loud, so you may want to turn your volume down a little for its duration.
Okay, I'm back, and I am probably guilty of trying to do too many things at once here. Again, my name is David Carr. I'm the president of Online Presenters Toastmasters, was chartered earlier this year in March, and focuses on developing skills for doing webinars, for doing online meetings, and I suppose for doing Facebook Live too. I think that Facebook Live is a huge opportunity for Toastmasters, for anybody who does presentations, for anybody who has a message to get out, a business to promote. There are lots of things that you can take advantage of using this platform. And one of the things I want to try and make clear is that there are many different types of Facebook Live programming, from extremely informal. You see a lot of people who will go live saying, hey, I'm at the ball game, I'm at the concert, wow, this is going to be awesome! That's not what I'm talking about for the most part. There's also, at the other extreme, you have professional broadcasters who may be simulcasting some bit of content or some extra bit of content that they're broadcasting out on Facebook Live as a way of engaging with their audience. And they have a whole technical crew of people helping them put on that broadcast. But there's a big range in between where you can use Facebook Live for professional purposes.
Your video would be posted on your Facebook page where you can manipulate it for future purposes or repurpose it. Rather than shoot your entire meeting, you may just want to try shooting a specific speaker or perhaps a table topic session. Like anything else, you'll likely get better with experience. Being on Facebook Live isn't of much value if nobody is watching you. If you plan on doing a Facebook Live, you'll need to do some advanced promotion. Here's an example of a club that was promoting a streaming event of the Toastmasters World Championship semifinal. Not too sure exactly how they're going to do it. Your event promotion could be simple as posting, join us live on Tuesday, 7 p.m., where we'll show you, then talk about whatever you're going to show them. To get extra exposure of your video, you can also upload it to your own YouTube channel or one with your club branding on it. While Facebook and YouTube both allow you to post video, the value of each is different. Posting your video to Facebook is considered disruptive marketing. The idea is that someone is looking at their Facebook feed, looking to see what is new and what is interesting. If they're subscribed to your club Facebook page or group, the video will likely show up in their feed. This also might happen if a friend shares it. It is considered disruptive because you have to drop or stop whatever else you're doing at the time to view the video. The concept of bright shiny object comes to mind. YouTube, on the other hand, isn't disruptive. If you subscribe to somebody's YouTube channel and receive notifications of something new being posted, or you happen to be surfing the web looking for videos on specific topics, you won't know about the video otherwise. You have to take action on your part to discover it. It didn't disrupt anything that you're already doing at the time. When you upload your video to Facebook, you should also include some promotional copy. What was the occasion of the video clip? Who are the people in the video clip? Do you have a message that you want to include? Are there keywords that you can add? The same applies when you post your video to YouTube. You need to apply context to your video so that people can see why it's relevant to them. If there are people that you can identify in the video, add their names as keywords. Before we leave this section on video for beginners, there's at least one more video production technique that's well within the beginner skill level, and that is using the webcam on your computer. If you're wanting to do a quick testimonial or promo while sitting at your desktop computer or laptop, you would just start a recording session and just talk into the computer. As you can see, you need to be aware of what your background looks like, as it may take away from your intent. Another way of recording a club meeting or interview is in using a laptop, but not using the built-in webcam. Instead, use a portable webcam such as you would use on a desktop computer. It's actually what I'm recording on right now. You would need the software to operate the webcam installed on your laptop, but it gives you a fair amount of control in recording your subject. I think this would be good for videoing club meetings, as it allows you to move your camera around a little bit to focus on other members in the audience, as well as zooming in and or out. As with other recording methods, you need to ensure that your laptop is set at a strategic position that will allow you to capture both your video and your audio. Let's take a look at the intermediate level of video production and marketing. This next level of complexity or experience, depending on how you look at it, incorporates planning for your video shots and editing of your video before uploading it. Let's look at the planning portion first. Many videographers create a storyboard as the first step. If you have a message that you want to get across in your video, like any speech or story that you create, you need to create a story. Your storyboard outlines the milestones of your video. What is it that you want to achieve? I've created somewhat of a storyboard in the production of this video. I started off with an opening that hopefully grabbed your interest so that you'd want to watch the rest of it. I had to develop the talking points in the script and then decide how I was going to illustrate those points in my video. Then I had to do the same with both the intermediate and advanced categories, planning on what I was going to say and how I was going to illustrate my messages via video. The next step was locating and piecing together video clips to show the message in the editing software. You may be shooting a scene that runs from start to finish. That is, you start recording at the beginning and you keep shooting until it's over. In video speak, this would be your A roll. Additional footage or content that you want to add to your video comes from your B roll. Editing is generally done on a laptop or desktop computer with software designed to edit your raw video and audio footage. Basically, there are choices in video editing software that have similar functions. You want to be able to edit the video track, either cutting unwanted scenes or adding other content, that is from your B-roll material. An example would be where that you are videoing a club meeting and you splice in some Toastimonials from your members. You may also want to minimize the audio on the video that was recorded when shot and then insert your own voiceover. This is done within the audio track. You can improve the quality of your audio in several ways. If you're using your smartphone as a recording device, you can use one phone as a video recorder, allowing you to position your video shot from the best perspective. You could also use a second smartphone as the audio recording source. Most smartphones have an app that lets you record the audio as a soundtrack. You would then send the separate soundtrack to your video editing program and replace the one that was produced on your video recording smartphone. In this screenshot, the wiggly blue lines are the audio tracks. You can take a bit of tweaking to line up the new soundtrack with the video, as it can be noticeable when a speaker's mouth movements don't match the audio. I would listen to the audio recording first before going to all the trouble of doing the splicing. I've heard audio recording that is significantly better, and some that wasn't worth the bother. If you're using a digital camera or camcorder, most have the option of plugging in an external mic that the speaker can hold as a handheld one. Alternatively, there are wireless lapel mics called lavalier mics that can be used. This requires a bit more technology in that you need a transceiver that receives the incoming audio data and sends it to your camera audio input. As an example, one with using an additional smartphone as your recording device, the same works with a digital camera or camcorder. You set the smartphone close to the sound source, recording the audio, then swap out the audio track in your editing software. We're looking at video at the intermediate level. In this level, the complexity has increased somewhat, but is doable if you have the software. The video presentation that you've been watching here fits into the intermediate skill level as it incorporates several components. I'm going to be talking about software for the next few moments. It might be confusing, however, there will be speaker notes available at the end of the webinar, and I will include links so that you can research even further. This video is created using TechSmith's Camtasia. You're seeing the Camtasia dashboard on your screen right now. Camtasia is a video editing and screen capture software. Screen capture meaning that whatever I want to show you on my screen, I can capture and record. I can also do a voiceover while I'm recording the screen. I'm actually doing that right now. This works well when using a PowerPoint presentation as your visual and then talking about what is featured on the slide. I'm then able to drop the capture into my video and audio timeline in Camtasia's editor function. Camtasia costs around $325 Canadian. I'll expand upon Camtasia in a moment or so. Another TechSmith product that I use almost daily for the past decade is Snagit. Snagit allows you to easily make screen captures. This can be graphics, entire pages, regions, and even video. The screenshot of the Camtasia dashboard you're looking at right now was captured with Snagit, inserted into the PowerPoint presentation for this video, then recorded with the voiceover in Camtasia that you're hearing right now. Simple, right? As an example of how Snagit works, all of the video clips that I've shown in this video were snagged from their source by Snagit and recreated as MP4s, which I then inserted into my PowerPoint presentation. Snagit is fairly inexpensive, coming in around $50 to $60. PowerPoint comes in handy for many tutorial styles of video, such as this one. I first find a PowerPoint template that resonates with my main topic, then create a series of slides that allow me to tell my story. I have an online account with a graphics website that allows me to download graphics and insert them into my PowerPoint presentation. Between using PowerPoint's ability to resize a graphic and Snagit's ability to edit a graphic, I can adjust my graphics to meet my needs. For videos that are more of a stand and deliver type of presentation, perhaps of an individual speaker or a whole meeting, I've used a program called Sony Vegas Movie Studio Platinum. You're looking at its dashboard a couple slides back. That's what you're seeing on the screenshot right now. There are a few other software packages out there that you might already have that likely have similar features. Towards the bottom of the video frame, you can see the video track with the audio track directly below it. You can also see on the right hand side that there are volume controls that lets you raise or lower the volume in your output video. It doesn't do screen capture as Camtasia does, but allows you to insert title pages into your video timeline. After having worked with Camtasia for a while now, I probably wouldn't have purchased the Sony Vegas Movie Platinum, as I think I can pretty well do everything and more within Camtasia. Title pages are easily created in PowerPoint, then captured and saved to your computer by the Snagit screen capture. With the video production software, you are able to factor in transitions between your title slides as well as your different shots. You can fade them in slowly or quickly. The same applies to fade out. An example of this is where I've delivered training sessions at my Toastmaster meeting. While I have a data projector aiming my PowerPoint presentation at the screen, I will have the video camera only aimed on me. The audience sees the PowerPoint presentation, but the camera doesn't. I will then add in my slides at the appropriate points while I'm editing my video. As for marketing these videos that are intermediate in their challenge of shooting and producing, the same tactics apply as we discussed in the beginning of this presentation. Moving on to the advanced level, I'm just going to give a quick overview of the possibilities of how you can market your club at the advanced level. For the most part, I think that there may only be a few of us that are actually at this level, and if you are, you're likely more skilled at it than I am. There can be expenses at this level of experience that can be prohibitive or conversely easily replicated. Do-it-yourselfer, if you will. You would need editing software, of course. It may involve having a higher quality camera, sound, and lighting equipment. It could mean having blue-green screen capabilities. If you watch the weather report on television, you've seen blue screen technology. Basically, the weather person is standing in front of a blue screen. There's nothing on it, and they don't wear any clothing that has blue in it. So computer technology takes the color out of the screen and adds the computer imagery. For the amateur videographer, it's a matter of having a green screen behind you and ensuring that you don't have anything green on to video yourself. Camtasia has the capability for green screen shooting. I've tried it with limited success. You create a PowerPoint slide which you craft so that it's visible and readable around your head or body shot so that it comes out on the green screen. As an advanced videographer and marketer, you would be looking at creating video likely for the purpose of creating a Facebook ad campaign featuring your video. That's going to cost you some money. I think that delving into how to run a Facebook ad campaign is beyond the scope of this presentation, so I'm going to end it here, and you can join me back in the live portion of the webinar so we can help answer your questions. Don't forget to check out the speaker's notes for a list of resources that I've mentioned in this video. See you live. Hi there, so we're back live again, and we're open for any questions from our audience. So any questions? I'm looking at the chat line here. Just see how we make out. Okay, the question is, do you have club members sign a release so that they can be shown on YouTube or Facebook? I have not yet. I'm going to put a link to it in the speaker's notes or the resource notes. The short version is, if you go to Toastmasters International, the brand portal portion of their website, they have several pages on different criteria. One of the criteria, and I have not incorporated it in this particular video or anything I've done yet, one of them is that right from the beginning that there should be a disclaimer that the video that you're about to watch is produced by a certain individual and does not represent Toastmasters International. So the question that's been asked is, do you have your club members sign a release? There is a release form that is there. You can do it. I have not done it because I personally have not put an awful lot of video onto the website. But I think the advantage of it is that while your members may be all for it at this point in time, as anybody knows, with the Toastmasters Club, membership, waxes and wanes. People come and go at all times. At some point in time, an individual's life could change, or life circumstances can change, and they may not want to be in a particular video. So there is advantage. It's a simple form. You just ask them for their consent, and you just keep it on file. And I guess like any other legal document, somebody could rescind that consent. I know that at different functions within the district of Toastmasters district, we have had individuals want any contact or mention on any websites that perhaps they were serving as an area governor, area director, and their name came up in an article and they wanted the article removed. I guess they were concerned that they did not want to come up in search engines. So yes, I would say that there's definitely an advantage to do that, and I will put a link to that in the show notes. Okay, the question is, what's the cheapest and most basic editing software recommended for beginners? I can't see our club buying Camtasia. Yeah, that's the challenge. I don't know a quick answer to that. I think I've paid $325, $350 for the Camtasia, but it's got nothing to do with the club. I bought it for business purposes, and I'm reusing it for Toastmaster functions. But the Snagit, TechSmith Snagit program that I mentioned for basic editing, for the sake of $50 or $60, and I've had it for the last decade or so. They upgrade it maybe once or twice a year. So for the sake of $60 to $100 a year, it's a pretty powerful program. As I said in the video, it allows you to grab screen captures. All the videos, clips that were shown in that video were grabbed by Snagit. So all you do is you put your video on, whether it be on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever it is. You put a set of handles around it, like you're putting like a dialog box or a text box or a screen or a capture, and you just basically hit save or start, and it starts recording it. It records the system sounds as well as the visual, the audio and the visual, the video. And then once it's done, you can say there's some dead spots, there's some areas maybe you don't want to be recorded, or maybe you had some ums, ers, and ahs that you want to get. You can remove it from the soundtrack, or you can remove it from the video track as well. And it's relatively easy to use. So if I was going to do it and it was on a budget, I think Snagit is the way to go for that one. That would be my suggestion. Lots of good questions here. Do you have any guidelines for effective Toastimonials? Not formalized. I think that the way to go, just to put it in perspective, like I said, for people that don't know what the concept of Toastimonials is, I first heard it a good decade or so back. I was serving as the District 21 governor, and as part of the district team, one of our international directors was a fellow named Michael Natero. Well, Michael eventually did become the international president, but while he was the international director, he was he's our mentor as district governors, and he talked about the whole concept of Toastimonials, that the idea is in marketing, one of the most powerful techniques of marketing is a testimonial. We've seen them on TV. It's been on TV since it was live. Back in the days, originally black and white, you would have a housewife in her dress and her pearls, kind of like June Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver, and she'd be using a specific brand of soap. Well, because she was using the soap and we were watching it on TV and she seemed to like it, obviously it was a good idea, so we started to believe it. So the same idea applies for giving a testimonial. When I do them, it's the same idea as giving a testimonial for somebody that you did in business, you work with in business. What did they do? What do you like about it? Would you recommend them? With a testimonial, I give examples of, because I've been involved, I'm going on a little over 24 years in Toastmasters now, so I've known hundreds and hundreds of Toastmasters. I've seen success stories. I've seen people come and go before they had a chance to, achieve success. I've seen people that have overcome immeasurable obstacles to become very successful. Those are the kind of stories I like to share. Actually, the next webinar we're going to be doing next Wednesday, from the point of this recording, is how to use a sales approach to selling Toastmasters. And one of the aspects that we go into in greater detail there is the testimonial, and to tie it in with the video. There was one testimonial on that video that we pre-recorded video that we just watched, and it was testimonial. You can either give it on somebody else's behalf, or you can talk about what you've achieved yourself. So the fellow from the Penticton Toastmasters, he was primed in advance from the person shooting the video, saying, this is the kind of stuff to talk about. In many ways, it's just practice it as a table topic. That's the way I do it in advance. Another question. How often do you think a club should post videos on Facebook? And would you post the same ones on YouTube for extra exposure? I think it depends on what the content is. I encourage clubs to have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. And there's different reasons that I didn't get into it in the video, because the topic of the video was actually how to promote your Toastmasters club so that people see it. One of the advantages to videoing your speakers or different aspects of your program is you can upload it to Facebook or into YouTube. But what I do is I've videotaped probably more than a dozen or so of my presentations over the past year or so, and I post them to our Facebook channel. But what I've done as the VP of Education role, which is different than a marketing role, is when I've had no speakers, I've grabbed a speech or a video off of the internet, and instead of having a speaker, I've with the data projector and a screen shown that video clip, and we've evaluated it just like we would a live speaker. So the advantage there. But the question that specifically asked about how often do you think a club should post videos on Facebook? It's kind of a loaded question, in that Facebook is really making it's not part of this particular video, but Facebook is making some really significant changes, like Google is for their search engine optimization. They want you to pay. Facebook is doing the same thing too. Now, Facebook videos are getting indexed very quick on search engine, and I showed that in the beginning. YouTube seems to be getting indexed even quicker. So if I was doing a video, I think it would depend on what the topic is. If it was giving a present, just say the kind of stuff that you can videotape in your meeting, somebody received an award. They got presented with the Competent Leadership Award, or perhaps you have new members that are just had an induction ceremony. So those life moments, those moments of celebration within a Toastmasters club, those are the kind of things that would go into your Facebook. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have any value if you put them into a YouTube. The kind of things I would put into YouTube for your collection would be your senior members, your more experienced members that are doing educationals. I do educationals and I talked about it in the video that I've posted to the YouTube channel. I also cross-purpose pretty well every video, because I'm also a website developer, and I own about a dozen websites, so I cross-index. My videos are on several other sites, my particular videos, so I cross-index them. So I think the answer really to that is depending on what your content is. On a YouTube channel, people that don't know you, I'm not sure if I'd see the value of somebody getting a trophy or that. My particular club gives trophies on a weekly basis. So it's kind of, it's fun. It's not really newsworthy, and it's not, unless it's something really out of the ordinary where one of our members has a hat trick where they get 3 awards. We make a big thing of it. Maybe do a quick video clip, something like that. That was a long answer. Any questions? Okay, I produced this video last week, and one of the comments that I made in the video was to not shoot your video into an area that's getting sunlight. Now, I got caught up on that one last evening. We had a fellow delivering a presentation on the new pathways. He was a pathways ambassador. And our meeting room, which I videoed lots of times in the past, and actually one of the shots in the beginning of the pre-recorded video was with Michelle, same smartphone, same lighting, everything worked. But this particular time, when I took the shot, I thought it was kind of odd because he was standing beside the screen, which the data projector was on, and all I was getting was a white screen, and I wasn't getting any of the wording that was on the screen. I thought that was a little odd. So I continued on. It was only about a 30-second shot or so, which I had planned to put onto the Facebook page. And then when I went into post-production, I went to do it this afternoon to post to the Facebook page, the white screen, the light from the white screen, I guess had affected the exposure on the film or on the video, and it was black. I couldn't see anything. The sound turned out okay. So that was something new for me too, is that even with the smartphone, if you're shooting, you have to be careful of the data screen because they just put out too much ambient light. So that's something else to consider. Okay, the question is, I'd like to see the Club VP Public Relations to have a special invitation to these webinars. Okay, one question is, are you aware that there is a Facebook page for VP Public Relations? That's one thing, actually. It's closed to VP of Public Relations and anybody else that's interested in public relations. And we share different subjects related to public relations. And on the subject of public relations, I just had my club officer training the other night. Even though I'm the current public relations manager for the district, I still have the role in my own club as a VP Public Relations. So I went and took my training, and I've done every position possible. And I made the comment, and I believe it, that the VP Public Relations is probably the most challenging of them all, in that you do need to have a certain set of skills and abilities and software to do things. A lot of the other positions you can just do, but the VP Public Relations is probably becoming one of the more challenging ones. Now, the advantage to that is maybe you can get some work out of it, or create some business. So I hope that somewhat answers the question. I'm going to hit stop right now.